So we're here in the bathroom. Nice. Terrible, really. But you notice that there are no vents above the window here. I've got an extractor fan above. It's taped because sometimes the panel falls down. Now, while being in here with when you have something that is sucking the air out, behind this radiator was the one that has the hole in the back of it. Now, when you have a shower and whatnot, this extractor fan is running all of the time. All of the time. And this radiator was incredibly freezing cold. And you've got towels and stuff in here. Now, when it's pulling through all of the particles from the back there, the fiberglass, it sticks to the towels. Yes, some of it goes through the vent, don't get me wrong. But it's like with the door and everything else. So we've got the door shut now. When you put your hand over a Hoover pipe, you stop the airflow. Yet if you were to make a tiny hole in your hand, the air will begin to flow rapidly through the tiny hole you have in your hand. Let's say you hold it like this, you cup it. Behind this radiator is where it's pulling through that, although it might appear to be a small hole, it's pulling all of that fiberglass at a rapid ratio, and depending on whether it's coming from the loft, down the wall cavity, and as it comes down, it's out the hole, and it's also coming from the bottom, the floor, rising up and coming through. Now you've got a wet environment, damp, steamy, because you've taken a shower. When you get out, all of that little pieces of fiberglass will stick to your skin. It will stick to your towels, and it will get in your hair because you're wet, and it will cause you to feel itchy. Even if we had a vent on here, all it would do is pull the air from here and push the air out, but not all of it, because you'll feel the cold air coming down like a waterfall, out and down. So we know that it doesn't all come out. It goes all the way around the room. If you've got plants, they'll then begin to fill with bits of fiberglass on the leaves. And this is a runaway effect, and it's a lot worse than meets the eye, okay? Because I found some more as well. So that's the extractor fan running usual, pulling the air through. If you've got holes in your loft where your light is, the debris will fall through and land on your light, and all of this stuff will pass through. It's not inherently bad. Now let's go further into the house. So this is quite a powerful extractor fan. Now, this one's very powerful. If I turn it on, I'll show you. Just let me pause it. That's pulling very strong. You can hear it. Now that hole that was behind there, it was pulling through a lot of cold air and also a lot of particles. Now this is quite strong. This, would you believe, this will pull air from downstairs. So now it's struggling. If I open the window slightly, now I can feel that wash, that cold air coming in. But mainly I can feel it coming from here and it's going down. The hot air in the house is pushing upwards. By and large, that's not bad. But there's a bigger issue on this. So all of the upstairs radiators at the back of them, some have quite large holes, some have small holes, but downstairs, that's not the case. One radiator downstairs has a large whopping hole in it, and it's the one in the kitchen. And that's pulling in fibrous materials as well. It's interesting because it's on a support wall. This causes a lot of things like urticaria, itching, psoriasis. Your skin will begin peeling. If you've got toothbrushes in your bathroom, uncovered, these will be picking the particles and you'll brush that fiberglass into your teeth. Oof. Irritation. You are essentially having an allergic reaction because it is toxic. It's a toxin. Fibrous glass is never a great thing. Now, let's go and have a look at a few more, shall we? Because there's more than meets the eye to just this. In here, we have silicone running along the side of the skirting. But behind here, in other rooms, there isn't this. And this extractor fan is pulling the air from there now, along the bottom of all the skirting. Quite so that if I take a lighter and I flick the flame, it will blow it out. All the way across the bottom. That's bringing in cold air. It's very cold air. Yes, it pulls it from the vents. Right, so in here, the bathroom has no vent and the kitchen has no vent. The most damp places in the house have no vents. They've got a hole behind a radiator. I mean, but in the bedrooms, it's got the skirting board and cold air comes from under the skirting board. And these extractor fans have to run 24/7. So when I turn off the light, this will slow down, but it's still running. It's a very interesting process. Now, let's go and have a look at some more, because the kitchen is fun. Let's go and do some fun stuff. So, I was about to repaint the whole ceilings in here and everything else, right? Now here we have another extractor fan. This is quite a strong extractor fan. Now if I walk over here, you'll believe this in a kitchen. Right, now pull this door too. This one goes to the lounge. But this one here is a toilet. Would you believe that? In a kitchen, there's a toilet. It's weird. Let's do something else. Let's have a look at the window. And there are no vents. No vents. And no vents. Let's go and have a look at the one in the front room. If I can get to it. Which I might not be able to because I got a net curtain up. Anyway, in the process. Now, if we go in here. This is the toilet. Downstairs. Very terrible. You can't see. There's a vent up here. But there's more to this little place. Having a toilet in the kitchen you might think is quite convenient. Actually, it's a death trap. It's literally terrible. How they've got away with this, I'll never know. Now, there's a smell of piss and shit in here, but no one's actually pissed or shit in the toilet downstairs, and it's not because of that reason. There's another reason at play, which is dangerous to your health. But, you know, we have all of these health checks and everything else. Do you see that box in the corner there? It's got a strange hole in it. Let's go see if we can see it with enough light in here. Maybe we can. You see this? This is a hole to the up pipe that leads to the sewers. Now, you'll think that with this running, this is how this runs. This is a weak fan, right? Now, when you're cooking, and you get cooking and all the rest of it, you'll come over and turn on your extractor fan here, which is high power. It's more powerful suction than the one over there. It's like pitting two hoovers together. This one is weak. Now that smell is getting stronger. Why? Well, we see this little gap here. What's that flame doing? Look at that. The air is being sucked from this gap here. Now this gap, believe it or not, inside there, oh, it smells really bad now. Inside here, it's bringing all the cold air in. You see how the flame, how far can I have to take this before the flame actually lights? Nope, it's still, look at that. All the way back here, and it's still affecting my flame on my lighter to blow it out. The closer I get, the more worse this becomes. I'm shielding it with my thumb. That air inside there is the up pipe. Usually these go outside, and they go all the way up above your house. Can't remember what they're called now, and they attach to the sewer. So the toilet has water in it to stop the smells of the sewers coming in to your house. This is a kitchen. Can you believe it? This is a kitchen. No window vents. So where is that air going to come from? Well, it's going to look for the easiest access point. And it's coming from the sewer. That pipe allows the gases to escape. And it's inside here. But there's a vent on the side of it. And there is a hole on a rubber bung that allows, and because you can smell the piss and shit, that's what I can smell, by the way. It was disgusting. is coming from that pipe. And therefore, all of the sewer, up it comes into your house, and it's now going out there. Because that vent is weak. This is a weak vent. That one is stronger. If I turn the one upstairs as well, the air that comes through there is even more stronger. And this is legal in a kitchen. In a kitchen. And Saffron, remind me again about the safety checks that you do. I mean, amuse me, please. Amuse me. All that damp, and when you can smell piss and shit, you are breathing in particles. That's nice, isn't it? Sewers. Particles. Because you've got an exposed pipe inside a box. That's interesting. And if you've got any food that's open, well, guess what all those little shit particles and everything else are going to land on? Maybe your fresh piece of fruit. What about mold on your windows? Where do you think that's all going? Now that air is coming through here and I can feel it. And it's running up here. Even if I turn this off, it's still coming into... You can still smell it. Ooh. And because it's cold air mixed with it, which is interesting, it sinks. And it covers all the way across the floor. And then even if I were to turn off this broken fan, which has been broken since moving in... And I say it's broken because it makes it... Ooh. The air's still coming. Because the air is being pulled from the fan upstairs. That's nice, isn't it? Kitchen. And no one uses this toilet for this reason. But you can still smell the sewer. And you tell me, what type of a house is this? What type of building are we doing here in the UK? I mean, this is a new build. Shouldn't that be vented outside? Not inside your house? Just curious here. Pulling in all that damp, shitty sewer water and wonder where mold spores. Poor health. Serious. And what's more, inside this box there's a little bit I know that you don't. This connects to a cavity. No doubt it's got holes in there like everywhere else. And not only is the air coming out of that gap, that sewer and everything else is sucking into the rest of the house. And that's why behind, it smells like gas, is the only way I can explain it, is then pulling through the skirting from upstairs in all the bedrooms. We want to talk about this, do we, council? You know, we want to talk about this, Saffron. Yeah, come round, can't change the look and the feel. But yeah, no, bollocks to you lot. I'm going to be whipping this off, so I need some silicone. Because that's why I got some silicone. I'm going to need a hammer, going to need some nails, and I'm going to pull this off, and I'm going to block that pipe. And I don't care what anyone says, I'm going to shove a rubber glove over it for now, and then I'm going to tape it around that pipe so that air stops coming into this fucking house. How disgusting you lot are. But yeah, gentry, whew, wouldn't build your houses like this, would you? This is health hazard. This would be shut down in my book. Well, fuck this. This whole process. And what? We got boilers and we're burning gas needlessly because we're pulling in constant cold air. Oh, this is so wonderful, isn't it? Talking about net zero and everything else. This is the way you lot build houses. This is what you do. It's disgusting. And let me guess, I'm just moaning. It's just me. Yeah. Problem is, atmosphere acts like water. When you got cold air coming in, it sinks like a waterfall. If you could see it. But you can't see it. And that's a good reason, isn't it? That you can't see this invisible shit that's going on inside your house. Not only are you pulling in particles of fiberglass and breathing those in, getting them all over your clothing, making little orbs. They'll tell you they're just ghosts, right? Just spirits. No, they're not. They're particles that you are breathing in and they are causing damage to your health. Oh, safety. Oh, safety. Go come round, go do some safety checks. God, you guys talk shit. And then you'll say that you're not in control of this stuff. So why are the houses exactly the same over and over again then? Being built the same. The exact same. And even with this door shut, because it's not airtight, it pulls the air through here, through the gaps. There's a draft, cold draft, constant pissy shitty smell. Yeah, it's an interesting experiment. But once that is blocked, the food lasts and mold stops growing. It's interesting. And the smell goes. Weird. Weird. So subtle, isn't it? I'm going to show you some more at the gaps in the skirting board. Again, the same way that the lighter was blown out on that one because of how strong the draft is. I can show you that this is coming from the sewer pipes. Now, what happens if other people are using bleach? One person's using disinfectant, another person is using a lube block, another person is using another chemical, and these are all chemically reacting in the sewers. So this is called mustard gas, right? And that's all mixing in your sewers underneath your feet. So if you're outside in that fresh air, my word, does that stink? So you're outside in that fresh air and you're breathing in all of these noxious, destroying lung tissue in the sewers because we're all mixing different chemicals. I suppose it keeps the corporations going though, doesn't it? Safety. Safety. Now, assuming the gas pipes run underneath this house, and if there ever was a small hole in there, that might start travelling up the cavity and into a house, right? Gonna smell that. What damage does that do? Never mind that we're wasting another resource here, aren't we? And for what reason? Why? For what? To make companies richer? To generate more debt to our nation? It's interesting, isn't it? It's very interesting. So now we need more energy and more gas and more heat and more this and more that. It's retarded. Do we really need this much? And then why, Saffron, do you have at the rest of the house with the windows have vents? But in all these little key areas, no vents. You'd think in a bathroom and a kitchen, a place where it gets damp, you would have vents, wouldn't you? Suck in some air. In order to let air out, you've got to pull air in. That's the way it works. Because if you put your hand over a Hoover, that ain't chucking out any air, is it? Because it ain't sucking anything in. But no, that's all right. We'll make it come from underneath the skirting boards, where all the fiberglass is up the wall. Bring that all in. And then we put pressure on our NHS. We'll make doctors play the guessing game. Because doctors have to stay in there. And it's not doctors' fault. Do not get me wrong. It isn't doctors' fault. They're fighting a battle that they can't see the other end of the spectrum to. Or maybe they do, I don't know. But again, when does anyone ever tell the truth about this and the dangers of all of these products? And then how many people are dying because of this each year? 5 years, 10 years? What are the life expectancy on this? We know what it was like chucking sewer stuff out, don't we? And no one's looking at this. But yet they're paid a pretty penny though, aren't they? For what? Your glass towers of what? Fakery? So no, if I was a government advisor, it would be looking at stuff like this and cracking down on it. Most secondly, it would be finding a way, because I do have a way to rectify all of this and live a better life. But I think this is done. This is done. This old way. See, you follow the nose, right? That's what it's all about, following the nose. And then how many people is this? And children are in this environment, kids. And the house next door, I'm sure it's identical, and the ones over the road, I'm sure this is all the same. Toilets in a fucking kitchen. But I wouldn't be allowed to take that out, you see, that toilet in there, and shut all that down and make that into a pantry instead, you know. No, I'm not allowed to do that because I would be changing the look and the feel of the house, and I'd have to get permission, and they could say no because you're changing the structure of the house. Because it wouldn't be safe. We're worrying about solar panels. Have to ask permission for solar panels because it might not be safe. And you've got to get it done safely. Oh, really? Really? And these houses? 780 quid? And apparently I got to pay you £1,000? Fuck knows where that came from. This rent for this. Will it pay for my funeral expenses or anybody else's? Does this cause pneumonia with this bacteria? If you're smelling those particles, remember, if you can smell it, You're breathing in particles. Now, what does that look like day in, day out, day in, day out? Does it cause pneumonia? Does it cause bronchitis? Does it create a bacterial infection? What happens if you get that and it lands in a cut? I mean, oh, are we really? What, we're intelligent people, are we? By design, yeah? This is by design. Safety, you say? You want safety. I'm going to give you some safety. That's interesting. Waste. If you're shit with a little, you'll be shit with a lot. Yeah, and this process? So we make freezing cold houses, baking hot ones in the summer, with particles through the roof that hit the lungs. Not only we got particles, we also got bacteria, airborne contaminants. Interesting. We've got running the risk of pipes that are not seen, no service hatches to check those gas pipes. So they haven't been checked in 16 years for integrity. We might as well just write oops, mightn't we? Yeah, we should just write oops. What about the fiberglass? Oops. What about the gas that could erupt underneath the house? And no one has ever come up with building that into a sleeve so that the sleeve is exposed, and that if there is ever a gas leak, the only thing it's going to work in is that sleeve, and it's going to come out, and it's going to go outside, and we can vent it, smell it, detect it, and then do something about it. But no, we'll build them under the house. But people that are in better build houses, that have bought their houses, oh, all theirs are outside. Nothing next to anything else. We've got damp air coming in through your trip switch boxes. That's interesting. Safety. Creating dampness. And you wonder why houses get mouldy? Gee me. Because if it's damp outside and it's pulling in damp air, chances are there's going to be damp inside the house as well, yeah? Or do we not believe that? It's like me breathing into a series of pipes, right? Which is like a cavity, yeah? My damp breath, breathing into that. Is that not going to soak in the interior of the walls and create more damp? Which, then with all this bacteria flying through, it's not got a breeding ground, has it not? Weird. Might as well just write oops on that one as well, yeah? God, it's ridiculous. All this safety, right? All this talk about safety. And this, I don't know if you can see the staining on it. It was getting quite damp, but it's because it was bringing up damp air up here and through this way. And when you put the heating on, radiator, this becomes colder than a window. What do you think happens to all of that moist air that's now being sucked in through the house? Zap. And it's also on the window. But luckily, in these ones, do you see how these ones have vents? In the front room, you got vents. But not in the kitchen. It's kind of bizarre, isn't it? Same size windows and everything else, right? But no vent. None. Nothing. In a bathroom, no vent. So where's that going to suck from? Well, of course, fucking bathroom, yeah? Toilet. Wow. Oh, 10 out of 10. So I found the stench. Reminded me of gas to start with, but I think it could be this. Yeah, that's interesting. And then how do you assess the pipe works in there? If they run under the house too. We know they leak. We know plastic becomes brittle. I'll show you that on the last video of the last property with the outlet pipes. How old are those pipes? They were changed apparently within 10 years. Then these ones, 16 years running under a house then. Well, okay, those ones were exposed to element, but they weren't because they had a bit over the top. But again, they'll say it's splashing. But there are gutters. It doesn't kind of splash in this way. But anyway, still, let's just assume that it is. You mean to tell me that that plastic in there that holds those pipes that drains the waste is a different plastic? So if that ever started leaking underneath this house, how do you service it? You have to dig the floor up. How do you service the gas pipes? Got to dig the floor up. There are no service hatches for it. Where does that gas run? Maybe it runs outside and underneath the brick weave. But again, does it? And then why the difference? From someone that's bought a house, it runs on the outside, to here, it disappears. Ooh. And that's from a gentry? That's from Saffron Housing, yes? So, yeah, I think it's time to rebuild houses, but not this. Not this. So, yeah, I think I should pursue with my inventions and keep going with it because, to be honest, if this is what the gentry do and we still look at what Charles Dickens was talking about, ooh, we don't like those. Is there not enough prison houses? Is there not enough these workhouses available? That's how the gentry act. And then the gentry want to build you a house? Fucking hell. If I was on a building site and we were building houses like this, we would never be given a let license. We wouldn't even be allowed to do it. In fact, our company would have gone bust, wouldn't it? I say ours, wasn't really mine, but still, it's just how we say it. That would have been cowboys and we'd have been gone. And then we'd have got a bad reputation in the building trade, and then no one would hire you. And then your company collapses. But here, let's just stick poor people in it. Come on. Because we don't want to pay anything for them. Ooh. They don't deserve anything. Ooh. Are the workhouses not good enough? Ooh. Do they not want to still live on the streets? Ooh. Do they want to eat the poisonous food and live in our shit and piss that we throw out our windows? This is it. Terrible. But yeah, it's not the end. Well, we'll do some more. But yeah, so when you've got an extractor fan over there, plus this weak piece of shit in here, and then you got a powerful one upstairs, I mean, it's got to suck that from somewhere, and it absolutely fucking stinks. So I'm gonna go and get on. So, and again, and if you think that covering up any of these holes in the backs of the radiator is then triggering that off, you're mistaken. It pulls evenly from all of these areas, by the way. All of these areas. So it will pull it regardless. I mean, in here, what the radiator in here is the one with a hole behind it as well. So you've got particles, interesting, shite and piss, interesting. Ooh, yuck. To stay here and block off all of this, and then it comes through the skirting boards. Dear oh dear. Dear oh dear oh dear. Wonder what society looks like without this. Would we be a bit more like the Mediterranean culture? Where they don't get this sort of illness and everything else? Who knows? Is that why Britain is so... And this was what our ancestors was taking the land from to then be given to the gentry for them to then give us something back in that is toxic. Wow. Been better off if we'd have kept it, really, wouldn't it?